Hello listeners and fellow Game Pass fans, get yourself set and ready for your favourite unofficial Game Pass podcast, Game Pass News. So I'll hand you over to Nick and Sean and get the show started.
Welcome to the Game Pass News, recorded live July 26th. I'm Nintendo, and my co-host Sean Abbott. He is back, my friends. He's back, and I am so overjoyed that I have a co-host and I don't have to talk to myself, even though I often talk to myself, but whatever. We will fill your brains with all this week's bits and bobs, like smelly controllers. But in a good way? I don't know. Game Pass News is growing. That's a good thing. And Xbox is the new place for retro, baby. You better sit down, buckle up, because Game Pass News is one crazy ride.
Let's look at the funk.
Hey-o.
Welcome back, Mr. Sean. How was vacation, my man?
Tiring.
I'll need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I go away again in 2 days, just for that purpose. No, it was fun. Don't ever take a 17-year-old on a warm vacation when she doesn't like warm vacations, because it's the worst thing you could do. But no, it was good. It was good. It was a good time to spend time with the family. I had a lot of fun with Logan. Good time to wind down, explore some places, jumped into the sea.
I saw that. Looked fun.
Yeah.
Looked fun.
What you didn't see is the videos and the photos of me doing backflips, which didn't look pretty in the video, but yeah, I was doing backflips off the boat just because Logan said I couldn't do them. So fuck you.
You're like, I'll show you, little kid. Take that.
Yep. Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun.
I love it.
Glad to be back.
For a day. Glad to be back for a day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was, I don't know, the journey home was a long day. So like Monday morning we woke up at like 7:30. 7:30 where we were was 6:30 UK time. So we were only an hour and ahead for where we were. So I'll keep it all in UK time. Woke up at 6:30 and didn't go to bed until about 8:30 yesterday night. So like we had to be out of the hotel for 12, but then didn't have anywhere to go. We weren't getting picked up till 10 to midnight for the flight home. So kind of kept a few things with us that we could get changed into, use some showers that the hotel provided us with in the little gym suite that they had. Went down to like the port near where we were staying for tea. Got picked up at about 10 to midnight, got to the airport. The plane was delayed by an hour. It was a 2.5 hour flight home, and then an hour and 50 minutes to drive from the airport to home. Yeah, and then got home and just started washing everything because we're doing a quick turnaround. Me and Lindsay go away to the Lake Districts on Friday, so we kind of the stuff that we needed, the suitcases that we wanted washing and stuff like that.
So is this one just you and the wifey?
It is just me and the wife. We go canyoning.
Nice.
We set off from here at 9:30 Friday morning. On the way to where we're going canyoning, which is like climbing through waterfalls, open water swimming, a couple of like bits of bouldering and stuff like that around places and stuff. And then get checked into his lodge, chill out for a little bit, and then we're going out for tea because it's our wedding anniversary.
Oh, well, happy anniversary. You literally do get a vacation from your vacation. That is fantastic, Sean. I need to set these up more like this. This is how I need to be doing this stuff. Take the kids on a vacation, and then I just go on a vacation with the wife after that. Kudos to you, man. You got it figured out before anybody else. I've never heard anybody doing this, and I love it. Acid TK's in the chat, by the way, so good evening, sir. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you. That's cool. I've just been here doing life, living the dream, watching lots of soccer games, going to birthday parties, the normal dad fare. Nothing too crazy. Also very crazy at the same time. Yeah, and a thunderstorm, which we weren't sure if I'd have power because I lost it for like an hour, but here I am. So we're all good. We're here, and we're ready to talk about Game Pass. So let's do that. Let's talk about the Game Pass stuff.
Okay.
Wait, what? What, do we have something else?
I was gonna say, it's like we're also flipping the episode upside down. So to our normal format where you'd probably get all the top stories you're going to get all the games that are coming out with Game Pass.
That's right. We should have probably mentioned that. Let's talk about that for a second. Well, you just did. We're going to flip it around, so let's do that. Sean, why don't you start us off? You played a bit of this game. What's the game that's been out since the last time we podcasted?
Since you last podcasted on your solo podcast, which
Well,
by the
that's
way
fair.
was great. It was fantastic. I laughed a lot. I laughed out loud to it, and I felt very engaged. So
Oh, well,
kudos, which is hard to do when you're doing it on your own.
Thank you.
So the game that came out since you last did our episode was Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem, and that's available via cloud, PC, and on your Xbox Series X and S only. I don't think it's there for Xbox One. It's all right. I'll talk about it a bit more in like what I've been playing, but it's a first-person shooter from the Serious Sam series, which if you played them before and enjoyed them, you'll probably enjoy this one too. For somebody that's never played any of the Serious Sams before, it was a little bit getting used to it. So.
This is a rare one where it's just Xbox X and S. That doesn't happen very often. We don't get many of those. I mean, I imagine
I see this happening more often in the future, though.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I imagine it'll start happening more. So that's the only game that's been out, but July 31st, which is next Monday, will come out Venba, available day one with Game Pass, console and PC only. Venba is a short narrative cooking game where you play as an Indian mom who immigrates to Canada with her family in the 1980s. Players will cook various dishes and restore lost recipes, hold branching conversations, and explore in this story about family, love, loss, and more. So maybe you're cooking Indian food and poutine at the same time? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out. I'm there for it.
Indian poutine sounds really nice. Like normally,
I don't know what that is.
My understanding of poutine is just cheese, chips, and gravy.
Uh-huh. Wow, chips! Come on, Sean.
Fries. Come on. Fried potato strands. You want to do it like that? So I can imagine if you added a bit of curry sauce in there instead of gravy, but yeah, it'd be pretty nice.
It very well could be. While you drink, I will move on. Celeste, August 1st, which is, I don't know, when is it? Oh, that's the next day. Did you know the 1st comes after the 31st? Wow, calendars are hard.
Doesn't always happen like that.
Yeah, that's true. Tuesday, August 1st, comes out Celeste. It's a return, baby. Coming back. Cloud, console, PC makes a return. Help Madeline survive her inner demons on her journey to the top of the Celeste Mountain in the super tight platformer from the creators of Towerfall and Brave. Oh no, from the creators of Towerfall, Brave hundreds of handcrafted challenges. This is a great game. Everybody, I mean, most people know this game. It's an award-winning game. It's fantastic. If you haven't played it, you should go out and at least give it a shot.
Yep, I'm going to do that because you seemed really excited about it last week. So you got me excited about it. I've never played it. I've heard of people talk about Celeste a lot, but I've never tried it. So
yeah, I mean, I was not like you can get these cassette tapes. I was not like a get all the cassette tapes type of person, but I just went through the story. I had a good time. Played it on regular difficulty and did its thing. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Cool. And I believe that's pretty much it. Not many in terms of things that are coming out or things that have been announced. I haven't seen anywhere on the grapevine for any new games that have been announced that we don't already know about. But we do have a list of things leaving, which you covered last week. So leaving July 31st is Dreamscaper, Expeditions Rome, Marvel's Avengers, which I'm surprised that's still there for so long because it just wasn't a great game. The Ascent, which you talked about last week, that we both played, it's all right for what it was. And then the surprising one, like you mentioned last week, 2 Point Campus, which is leaving, but we haven't got any other 2 Point style games on there.
Yeah, very, very strange. I was shocked to see that we were leaving that. Anything new with the games with gold there, Sean?
Nothing as of yet, other than when the past was around. Came out July 16th, and that's going to run through to August 15th. So if you want to get hold of that game to claim it, to go along with your selection of games or catalog of games, wherever you have an Xbox Gold account, which you talked about last week as well, you can do so.
That's true. Those are our Game Pass updates for this week. Moving on now to the X feed. You know what? This is not on there, Sean, and we forgot to add this. So on our top stories, before we get into this week's top stories, I want to dip 2 weeks back because everybody knows my take on my thought on this core thing, but I want your take on Game Pass Core. Give me your thoughts on it.
I don't agree that it shouldn't be there, which I think is what you were saying last week.
Yeah,
You were
pretty
saying
much.
that why is it that they have this car edition that doesn't have a, because when rolling all the way back to I think it was July 1st, 2017, when Game Pass came out, a lot of people opposed it. They weren't interested, even though it was like £1 a month when it first came out. It was really cheap. It wasn't like an introductory price and then going up, or if it was, it went up to like $3.99 a month. I can't remember. It wasn't. It was tiny because I wasn't bothered. I literally paid the pound for the first 3 months and then quite happily sat there paying the rest of it. So, some people just don't want it, and I can completely understand why some people want it, because you do get this whole choice paralysis going on where there's so many games to play, but you're only excited to kind of play online with things like Call of Duty multiplayer, things like I'm trying to think of other multiplayer games that aren't free to play.
Other multi,
Which there isn't many of nowadays. But anyway, for your multiplayer games like where you're having to play team deathmatch, search search and destroy, capture the flag, those kind of games where it's not a free to play game. You purchase the game either digitally or physically, and the only way you can play online with other friends, even cross platform, is to have a gold account. I can completely understand why they've left that there, because there is still people that only play multiplayer games that don't have Game Pass. In the future, when I see Xbox becoming more Game Pass rather than Xbox Game Pass, I can see them maybe getting away from the car aspect of it, and the only way you can have it, like the only way there is there to have it, anything to do with Xbox multiplayer, is to have Game Pass and a Game Pass subscription. And I can see that they'll have a lower price for just a bare minimum, where you aren't getting access to all the games. You'll maybe just get access to the umbrella of games and developers that Xbox has underneath them, through the like Festa, Activision, which we can kind of say is going to happen anyway. But those kind of games where it's their own publishers and developers that have done it, you aren't getting the third party titles, and you're probably not going to get access to day one games. You might have a bit of a delay on that. I can see them whittling that down to a smaller price for your introductory kind of thing, and keeping the Ultimate up there at its full price. But no, it's always been something I've always paid for. It's cheaper to buy it on a discount card from somewhere, or through what's the website we use for our
CD keys.
Yeah, it's cheaper to buy a 12-month card than it is to pay it monthly, and get it on a discount, or use some kind of, if you get so much % off in the store, go and do that rather than doing it monthly, because you do save yourself money in the long run. But yeah, I can totally understand why it's still there.
Yeah, and so it's still only $60 a year if you choose to go with the year. So it's $60 a year if you choose to go that route. That will stay the same.
I mean, I stopped paying it yearly because I used to just pay it upfront in a one-er. I think it used to be like June of every year that it came around, I had to pay it. I stopped doing that when I started paying for the Ultimate, because it made more sense to pay, which now when you look at it, it's still quite a lot. I could probably buy a card for Game Pass for a year and buy a card for Core for the year cheaper than I could be paying it monthly. But going out and trying to figure that out once a year to get it, to make sure I get it cheaper, you might not. I don't know. But yeah, I swapped. We started this 2, maybe 3 years ago. I'd say 2018, 2018 to 2019, I went from paying it yearly to paying it monthly just to get Game Pass, just because I worked out that it was such a good deal.
Mm-hmm. So if you, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just the online is difficult and frustrating, and I get what they're doing, but I just feel the more tiers they add, the worse. It just doesn't make sense. Like, let's just have the three. But if they do that, then it's really going to screw over people who just want online, right? Because online, really, if you do it yearly, is only $60. So
Yeah, and I mean, and that's where fundamentally Xbox made a lot of its money originally, is the ability to play online at any time. The servers were always stronger. That's why like the PlayStation Network was free for so long, because they didn't have dedicated servers for it. It kind of used different servers from different places, and it wasn't as strong. It wasn't as reliable. Where for me, Xbox servers, other than one major, went down once years ago, and it was a major down as well. It was down for like nearly a week.
yeah, I remember that.
That's the only issue I've ever really known with it. Other than that, it's always been pretty solid. And if there is ever a blip, it's like not that they lose all their servers at once. Like they might lose matchmaking for a while, or they might lose access to the Microsoft Store for a while. You don't kind of get complete blackout of them all, and they've always been that strong. So
Well, all right. Well, there you go. There's the other side. Sean says leave it, and I say screw it. So there you have it. The next part we got sales data from good old Microsoft about Xbox and all their departments and arms of business. But for Xbox, they had growth of 1%. Gaming revenue grew by 1%. Hey, I think last year it constricted, so we'll take it, right? So this year we got 1% growth. Other news that came out of this shindig: Xbox content and services grew by 5%. Xbox Game Pass did see growth. That's a very random number, not very solid. Makes me wonder if you're not going to talk about percentages or numbers at all, I feel like it's on shaky ground. Like, Game Pass news saw growth. Let's move on. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. And Xbox hardware revenue declined by 13%. I think they're probably knowing this is going to happen as they diversify into other platforms and allow you to play all over the place, wherever you want, on xCloud, on PC. I think with the acquisition, that number is only going to get worse, to be honest. And maybe they don't care, to be honest. So just to be real, maybe Xbox, and I don't think they do really care that number is going down, as long as their services and content goes up.
yeah, and further on in this, Satya Nadella says that the company is anticipating Bethesda's upcoming release of Starfield due out in September, and noted how Xbox Game Pass usage in the last quarter was up by 22% over the year. So more people are using the service because they've either bought into it or they've always had it and never used it. But more people are using it now in anticipation for Starfield coming out, and probably playing a few games that are there. So
Yeah, this is weird to me too, though, Sean. Like, why are you going to tell me that Game Pass hours played are up by 22% year over year, but not give me subscriber data of any sort? Like, hey, I mean, that's what he could mean. He could mean maybe just the same amount of subscribers are just playing more games. Probably not 22%, but whatever. Like, Xbox really wants you to buy in to this like hours played, and I think it's shitty. Like, this hours played and people played. I think it's the stupidest metric ever.
Well, this is what we talked about a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about metrics and how they worth it. Is when you get into a subscription service like Game Pass, you don't count the amount of people playing, you count the amount of hours played. Like Netflix rate all their films and series by not the amount of people that have watched, but by the amount of time that people have watched it. Not times, but the amount of hours spent that day being streamed. So is it easier to log the amount of hours that people are on a subscription than it is the amount of people that use it, because you've got such a broad spectrum of different places people can play it. You've got people can play it via mobile, on the cloud, PC, your console, laptops. It's just so many different ways for people to plug in, and then you're going to enter into the world of things like the Nvidia. People are hacking Steam decks to do it that way. You've got what's the other, the newest one that's set to come out? But you've got various amounts of different handhelds now which are being able to use Game Pass. Is it hard to recognize that many people coming into one place? So you just go on the amount of time that games have been streamed.
Yeah, I get it, but so like all that data is important. Like, don't get me wrong, it's important for its own purpose, but in a financial report, it doesn't matter if I played a game for 50 hours or 5 hours. What matters is if there's another guy next to me that signed up for the service. Like, it just like it matters how much a game is played to Xbox, because then they'll probably more likely to boot it off the system, right? It'll take a like a upfront seat of, okay, this, nobody's playing this, we can set this in the queue to leave Game Pass. But from a financial standpoint, it's nice to know that people are playing the service for sure, but also subscriber count is really what their finances are based on. Now, hours played might have something to do with retention, but so there is that. But I just don't, they don't like to give these numbers. They gave out the 30 million number over a year ago now, I think. And when you say something like Xbox, wait, what was, I gotta get back to it. There it is. When you say something like Xbox Game Pass saw growth, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that the subscriber account grew. That could have gotten smaller and the hours played grew. So, I don't know. And I know these things are specifically vague because that's just how that is. But yeah, I just feel like there's not really much information here, to be honest.
Well, we'll see. I can't remember the last time we saw what date or month it was that we saw 30 million people subscribed. Think about, but I'm assuming they'll wait until after the ABK debacle is completely finished and CMA have finally got the fingers out their asses and realized that it's a good thing to do.
They're getting there. They're getting there. Yeah, April 2021 is when they told us that.
Wow. So we're long overdue some update on that.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. All right, next on our X feed, geez. Xbox has officially created the world's first ever pizza scented controller. Listen, if somebody out there has bought this freaking thing or has used it or whatever, does it really smell like pizza? I must know.
And does it leave your hands smelling like pizza? And does the smell get worse the longer you play the game because you warm the controller up? I mean, the amount of dogs. Just think the amount of dogs worldwide that are currently eating Xbox controllers because they smell nice.
Now, to be fair, I think you can only get this in a sweepstakes. So just to be fair, this is kind of like the fuzzy controller.
Nobody wanted that either.
Yeah, nobody wants that either. Sean, if they were like, Sean, you get to make the next smelly controller, what smell would you make it smell like?
You see, we use a lot of wax melt kind of burners in the house, and we have there we go. I'm in my daughter's room, and she has kind of one here. So you put a candle in the bottom, just a normal tea light, non-scented, regular candle. It warms the top of the ceramic up, or the underneath of the ceramic at the top up, and you put a little chunk of wax.
Oh yeah.
When it melts, it releases a different scent. So we have loads of it, and
I've seen these now. Sorry.
Some of mine and Lindsay's favorite ones are really warming. So they call bookshop or old newspapers, and it basically smell a mixture of different things. one that she's used this evening upstairs is bergamot, orange. Can't remember the other two, but when you smell it, it literally takes you to, like, if you imagine your grandparents' house, and you get the smell of newspapers and like just that really warm, relaxing smell that you kind of associate in the back of your mind with happy, nice places. So that's how our house usually smells. So I'd be up for something like that, something that's a bit lavendery, nice and calming, because we're busy slaying all the the demons in Doom. You could, like, your hands all smell really nice and you'll be calm. So
Sure, I like it. Bruce would like it to smell like poutine, as any good Canadian should. Any other answer would mean that they're probably not Canadian. So appreciate you there. And Ninja Lunchbox wants his to smell like rum. So top shelf rum, by the way, not just any cheap bass rum, but top shelf rum. So
yeah, what do you class as a top shelf rum? I'd like to know what he classes as a top shelf rum.
Rum from the top shelf, Sean. This is self-explanatory. I don't understand. No, I'm just kidding.
Anybody that does like rum out there, Bumbu, Bumbu, Bumbu rum is my favorite all-time rum. It's Caribbean and it's got banana in it as well. It's awesome to drink. So if you could get it to smell like that, that'd be awesome. Or even if you licked it, if you could lick it and it didn't taste like salty palms.
You just like sit there like you're just like licking your palm now. Like, yeah. That's interesting. So I'm not gonna lie, I was like trying to think about what food I'd want my I don't think I'd want my controller to smell like any type of food. So we have a diffuser that or at least I have a diffuser at work. My wife hates smells. Very weird, but it is I love my wife very much. She just likes everything to be neutral. Okay, just like that's it. But at work, I love smells. So at work, I have a diffuser, and that's kind of where I go crazy. And so tea tree oil is like my favorite diffuser smell. If I could have my controller smell like that, that would be pretty sweet. Also, I thought if you could make a controller where you could like just put in a scent, like a little like drops of the essential oils. Yeah, and it just like blow out. You could choose whatever you wanted. Like maybe you're in a lavender mood, Maybe it's lemongrass today. I don't know. Maybe cinnamon.
Now, Glade. Do you remember Glade plugins?
Yes, it's a Glade plugin controller.
Straight into the bottom of the controller while you're playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. That's what we need. Also, then maybe you could get one on a rotating thing. So like, you're walking through, I don't know, you're like walking through the city and all of a sudden it's like, okay, you go to like the essential oil city smell. I don't know, whatever. And it just like pumps out a nasty kind of foot odor, which is what most cities smell like. And then you like walk by a hot dog stand and it's like, and it just goes to like the hot dog smell and it spews some of that out and you're like, that's good. But then you walk by a homeless guy and he farts and it's like, boom, there you go. I'm just telling you, this is where we're going. Yeah, Ninja Lunchbox, fresh cut grass. That's also a good one. I like that, Ninja Lunchbox. That's good.
Well, you're playing Lawnmower Sim.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Could you imagine playing High on Life with a variable scented controller?
Sounds awful, but I mean, also fun at the same time. Like, also fun. Can you imagine that? And like, everybody would be like, "You are not playing that." Like, my wife would be like, "You are not playing that game right now. Not in this house. You're not." Like, there'd be games I'd just be banned from playing.
Yeah, no fishing games.
Oh yeah, seriously. What about cooking games? Like you just put the fish in the microwave just to get the smell. You're just like.
Smells like Grimsby.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the way to go, Acid TK. We're gonna have scented controllers, Rumble is like totally 2020. Now 2023, no, not 2020, 2000. Now 2023 scented controllers, baby. That's it. Not just one scent, like any scent you want.
For the full immersive effect.
That's right. That's where I think we're going here. But at the moment that isn't viable. You have to go out and sign up for a contest and maybe you'll win it and maybe you won't. So there's your scented controller on our news bulletins. It's finally here, the new Xbox dashboard. I'm so glad I didn't even care. I don't know what's new about this dashboard. Anything that matters?
Um, they've made it a little bit more so all the logos for your games are smaller, so you can get more logos across the top.
So bad for old people.
So
Okay, all right, move on. I get you.
yeah,
Which, by the way, that's
yeah.
me.
So, but in doing that, it's also created more space for your own personalized background, so you can see more of your background. Because at the moment, where you look at it, it looks like the big logos everywhere and things like that. You can't really see background. I mean, I'm looking at the image that they've used with the new Sasquatch
Mm-hmm.
on Pure Xbox. It's also you can change the background to match the game that you're highlighting, which I think is very PlayStation and Sony orientated. So like you can flick through when you flick through different games. So say like you got a Forza Horizon, the background will change to like a background from that game. You can customize your experience by pinning your favorite games, curated groups, and system groups, like quick zoom to home. So rather than you having to press the home button and then go to quick resume for you to bring things up, you can just have that straight there up on the dashboard. Also, like a bit of a spotlight and watch list for any of your media stuff. So if you watch Netflix, Disney Plus, or listen to Spotify through your Xbox, you can have that there. It's kind of it brings up a what you want to watch next, what you continue watching, rather than like your smart TV, or if you're using Amazon Fire Stick, a bit like an Amazon Fire Stick, it kind of remembers what you are watching or what you have been watching. So it's good. It's coming out. It's rolling through. I had a look earlier. I haven't got it yet, but I'm hoping to get it soon. It kind of notified me that it's coming, but it's just not there yet.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we got to get to the cool people first. So yeah, all those awesome Xbox users. I do like helps you find what's going on in your community through the updated friends and community updates row.
Yep.
That's cool because I oftentimes forget to look about if people have messaged me or wanted to be friends or whatever. So that's kind of cool. Next, so that is our news bulletins. That's all of it. The big story, pretty cool actually. Feature story for this week. Antstream is now on Xbox, making 1,400 retro classic games available to play on your Xbox right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can get this service can be done through Epic Store, it can do Google Play, Android, Amazon, Apple. So it can be done across all those different ones. But with and it is exclusive with Xbox. You can purchase the game digitally. You get a classic. You get like a year-on-year subscription. So for $30, you get access to 1,300 games across many different platforms. You SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, along things like Amstrad, Atari, Commodore, PlayStation 1. So you get all access to all these different games, as well as them running tournaments and other challenges, like 600 mini game challenges, I think they boast about. They have daily challenges and things like that. They have community games that you can do, lots of couch co-op style games. It's a really, really good service. They have a Discord as well, so you can join the community and chat to people there and probably make friends and play games together. So it's great. I think Phil Spencer was massive behind this.
Mm-hmm.
His whole idea of bringing more games to more people. He kind of ran with it and was like, probably a good reason why this has got an Xbox exclusive.
For sure.
Kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to pay year on year, you can. I mean, it's like buying a AAA game. You can pay $79.99, and you can buy it like as a lifetime pass. So it's just like buying one big game. You get access to 1,300 games.
I mean, so this falls under that thing of like it's cool. It's very cool. And there are people who like love some of these games and that I don't know if this is the only way some of these games are available or not, but it's great that it exists. I could see doing it for a year and just seeing it how it is. probably wouldn't pop for like the full lifetime deal, and seeing how often I play it or if I think it's worthy. Or if it's not that it's worthy, it's definitely worth it just if I have the time to play any of these games. Because I probably don't, to be honest. I definitely don't, to be honest. So, what do you think,
I
man?
mean,
Are you interested? Would you pay $29 for it?
I'd be tempted just because of some of the consoles that are on there, which
Mm-hmm.
consoles that as I was growing up, I didn't get hold of. So like the Jaguar, I never got hold of. The MSX, I never got hold of. Um, never played. Oh, we got that. The ZX Spectrum, I never got hold of one of those. So going back and being able to play like a selection of those games from back then is awesome. But then also there's games on there from PlayStation 1, which I was really excited for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've got a list here of the top 10 games, and Earthworm Jim's on there. The website I was looking at has now just crashed.
Oh, the top 10 games. So, so Dig Dug is on there. Rampage. And this is just, what is this? This is Gamer Rant's top 10 on Antstream. So, it might not be your top 10, but it's their top 10. Centipede. Like Sean said, Earthworm Jim. Gauntlet. Monkey Island. Double Dragon. Metal Slug. Pac-Man. Mortal Kombat. So lots of cool games. I mean, lots of beloved titles that everybody knows. And so, yeah, it's a cool thing, and you can get it right now for $30.
Yeah, they have a big list of games. Like they have 201 Amiga games, 35 Amstrad games, 293 arcade games, which are like basically your stand-up consoles. Just running through some of them. The fact like Rampage is there, which I absolutely loved. Rampage on the N64, which was good. Atari 8-bit, they've got 28 games on there. They've got quite a lot of Atari games going through all those. Commodore 64, DDoS. So Full Throttle, Sam & Max Hit the Road, 2 Ace, like point and click style games. The Game Boy games are pretty weak. Vanishing Racer, Jeep Jamboree, Super Hunchback, Fortified Zone, and Worm Blaster. They're the ones. Super Kickoff from the Genesis, Earthworm Jim 2. So yeah, there is absolutely loads. Our Nintendo fans, the NES games, B-52, Kickoff, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. If you want Bruce, if he wants to go back and play the old NES Star Wars game, you can do that by there.
I would love to see what that looks like.
Yeah. 40 Winks and Loaded, which is the PlayStation 1 that I'm really excited about. Loaded was one of those games that my parents wouldn't let me play, so I could only play it at my friend's house. SNES got the originals Worms game, Zombies Ate My Neighbor. Cannon Fodder. Oh, I'd get it just for Cannon Fodder. I loved that game. Absolutely love it. It's well worth 30 quid just to play that all here.
So you said it's available in a lot of places, but on console it's exclusive to Xbox. Is that correct? That's how that goes.
I'm assuming so because there's no Sony sign on the website at all.
There you go. All right.
I can't. Yeah. Acid TKO 3 says he's not sure if he'll buy the lifetime because he wouldn't want to risk it shutting down. I can't see why it would shut down, but then I'm assuming that once you stop getting people purchasing it and stuff like that you'd eventually.
Yeah, you never know. Or if it left Xbox, it may not shut down, but if it left Xbox, and then you'd have to find another way to play, or something like that. That gives you a lifetime for any access to it, right? Get access to it on any platform. Do you know?
I'm not sure. It only really states. I'll go back to the website a second.
Yeah, I don't know that either. Yeah, do you have to? You don't have to buy it on each of these platforms. That would be ridiculous. I mean, not impossible, but seemingly.
Yeah. PC seems like a really good way of doing it. I don't know. Let me have a look and see if I can get it
Oh
on.
no, here it is. Play on the web or download the app on any of these platforms. And then it lists all of them: Xbox, Windows, Epic, Google Play, Apple, whatever that bird is, Android, and Amazon. What is the bird? I still don't. Snapcraft?
Snapcrack.
I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, it's a cool feature. There are a lot of people who are super excited for it. It's probably not something I'm going to dive into, but I'm happy for all you people who are happy.
Yep. I mean, if they start doing more subscription stuff like this in the future, that'd be pretty cool. Like emulation, I think Phil said that emulation is probably one of the way forwards to play these kind of old games, which is why he was super hyped for it.
I agree with you. Also, I'm sitting here looking at like, well, how many more subscriptions can I handle? Like, I mean,
yeah,
I'm paying $18 for Ultimate. Is it 18? I can't remember. I'm paying some amount of money for Ultimate now. I think it's 17. And yeah, now I'm gonna pay $29 a month or a year for this, and I don't know. And $29 is not that bad. I get that, people, but then you're also looking at like if you're on Nintendo or if you're on PlayStation, then you have those that you're paying as well, and it's just like, man.
So it's Mike Rouse. He is the head of Antstream Studios, and in the recent interview with Xbox Expansion Pass, he mentioned that he'd spoke to Spencer about it from previous work in the industry, and a meeting was set up last year to discuss Xbox version. Says I got in contact with Phil Spencer and we had a meeting with him, and he loves games preservation. He talks a lot about it, but when you see him and you're in one to one and you're talking about it, he's extremely passionate about it. He essentially gave us a go ahead to get working on Xbox, and we spent the last year getting our tech in place and optimizing the code so that it can run on Xbox. And without the support of Phil and his team, it may never have come true. This is like for to be able to play on a console, it is exclusive to Xbox. It says this in the interview.
Cool.
But yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
the reason why it's been released in July this year is because they were worried about it getting lost with all the AAA games that are coming out towards Christmas.
That makes sense. That's fair. All right. Well, that is our feature story. Go and play your beloved retro games. Let's move on to the Xbox dashboard. Sean, what have you been playing, sir?
So as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, where we talked about games that come out since the last episode, I have been playing Serious Sam, and as I've labeled it here, Siberian Shit Game.
I did not see that. That's funny.
Mainly because I couldn't remember the full title, but yes, Siberian Mayhem. I'd have to maybe go back and try this, or at least speak to somebody that has played previous titles in the Serious Sam escapades. There's no aim down sight, which this game really needs because there's a lot of enemies that come at you pretty fast. The music I didn't really feel, so I turned that off straight away as I usually do when I fall out with a soundtrack pretty quick. Not knowing the history behind it as well, I couldn't really understand why we were doing what we were doing. But you start off with a pistol and a knife. The pistol's got infinite ammo. And then enemies just keep coming at you from left, right, and center. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like because there was no aim down sight, there was no precision. And when you've just got a pistol, which after 10 shots need reloading, and you've got 8 or 9 enemies coming at you at one point, you kind of want to aim for the head and do the most damage. And without the aim down sight, it was just really the sensitivity wasn't very high. It seemed very slow. And then when you tried to move it a small amount, it was moving a large area because it was just all hip fire. So it was just a bit. I wasn't getting on with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Now, did you
that didn't last
downloaded
long.
it, right? You did it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I downloaded it and played it for like 30 minutes and then uninstalled it.
Okay. Just making sure you played it on your actual
Yeah, I
Xbox
didn't
and
try.
not
I
xCloud.
didn't try via the cloud. There's if I'm gonna the only time I'll try things via the cloud is when it's a game that's not as high quality graphics wise as that. Just
Sure.
because if there's any lag, you then really do suffer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other game I've been playing is The Cave. That was an Xbox 360 game. A lot of people have talked about it and loved it, and I can be one of them. It's fun. It's exciting. It's puzzling, which is what I really like. So you start the game and you are introduced to 7 different characters. You've got a knight, a hillbilly, some twins, a monk, an adventurer, a time traveler, and one other that I can't remember. And you pick 3 of these people. They all have different abilities, all have a different backstory. And you go off adventuring into this cave. The narration and the voiceover in the game is done by the cave itself, so it's constantly talking about itself in a third person, which is quite fun and interesting. And you just delve in deeper and deeper into the cave. You meet different people that are living in the cave or surviving in the cave. They give you challenges to do. I think the first one is like a shop, a souvenir shop, and he wants you to go and find 3 different trinkets that he can then put up in his store. It gives you a key to use the back access to the cave, and you go and finding these different things. The puzzles are solved by using all 3 of the characters. I'm at a point where I haven't used their abilities yet. I think I'm still in the introductory stage of the game, so it hasn't really given me a full reasoning as to why these people have different abilities. So, and I've chosen the monk, the twins, and the time traveler. The time traveler can project themselves forward a little bit, like a couple of spaces, and then like quickly teleport to that. The twins kind of leave a eerie looking ghost figure of themselves and allow you to move around. And then the monk looks like he uses some kind of mind control, but I haven't figured out exactly what they all do. But the puzzles are solved by kind of just one person might have to hold a lever while somebody else walks into somewhere to activate something else. So then you can bring the third person in, and you kind of like you've constantly got like chain of events that you have to do with each of the characters, and it's quite interesting.
Sure.
And then I started playing, and I've not really done a right lot of it, maybe 10 minutes of Marquette, mainly because I got stuck on the cave and couldn't figure out one of the puzzles so far. Rather than sitting here and frustratingly doing the same thing, I'd go and try something else. I wanted to play it because, as you described it, it has a recursive puzzle game. I wanted to know what the recursive side of it meant. But I think I'm still going for the tutorial, so I'm kind of just walking through things. It's quite a nice, beautiful game. The soundtrack that I'm listening to at the moment is like a song singing about San Franciscan nights and stuff like that. Something to do with the memories that you have as the character in the game. As you're walking through, there's like literally writing on the walls, talking about somebody's lost some keys and they found an old box which is full of different stuff and memories, and the song kind of fits with that as well. But yeah, it's so far it's a cute game, and I look forward to playing some more.
Nice. Very cool. Is that all for you this last couple weeks?
Yeah, I didn't take anything on holiday with me.
Nice. That's the way to do it.
I think I didn't. We literally Logan took his iPad, mainly because while we were chilling out in the room between like coming back from the pool and stuff like that, and then going out for an evening meal, it just gave him something to do. He kind of like watch a film while we were all getting through the shower, and the girls were doing the makeup and the hair and stuff ready to go out. So
that's cool.
None of us played anything really. Since we've got back, he's played quite a lot of Super Mario Wii U Deluxe.
Nice.
Just because while he's been away, he's watched a lot of YouTube Kids and people playing that, so we're super excited to see that. Emily's torn straight back into Tears of the Kingdom, and Jaya last night I think she downloaded Far Cry New Dawn or something like that.
Very cool. For me, me and Noah are playing Pikmin 3. We're about to save Olimar. That's our next. We've seen the boss, and then we ran away because we didn't have the right Pikmin. So we're gonna tackle that on our next try. And then I played Tectonica, which is a crafting logistics game. I believe you're on kind of another planet. You don't really know why you're there. You're trying to figure it out. It's got a little bit of a story. The crafty part of it is pretty straightforward. They give you a good tutorial, not too hand-holdy, but enough to where you know what you're doing, which I always do appreciate. And so yeah, I'm just kind of going through that. The graphics are okay. I think it's what they were aiming for, so that's fine. And yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know more as I get a little bit further into it. I did play that on XCloud. I'm on Ethernet. That did not play well for me at all. It had a very might have just had a bad session. I don't know, but I would like push the controller and have to wait a second, and then the person would move. So I was like, it's a decent amount of controller lag, and I was like, nope, I'm out. So then I came off of that and installed it into the hard drive and worked much better. So
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I try to avoid, especially looking at Tectonica's graphics and how much it's got there. There's a lot going on, which is probably one of the reasons why I'd avoid cloud for those kind of things.
Yep. So yeah, I liked it. I got Figment 2 Creed Valley loaded up. I want to try that with the kiddos. But I also was just alerted to the fact that the Disney game is coming out, which I also want to play with the kiddos.
Which one?
Disney Illusions.
Oh yeah, it looked like one of the old Mickey Mouse games.
Mm-hmm. Four player co-op-y thing. So that'll be a good one because I don't have a game right now that I'm playing with Ariel too. I'm just playing Pikmin with Noah. So, and I've been playing Minecraft with her every once in a while, but this would give us something else to grab onto. So
cool.
And that's still not a very full dashboard, but more than last time. So.
Well, you had a lot going on last time. You had forest fires creating smoke and poutine smells. You had raining off football, and then having to catch up on all the soccer balls. So
that is true. There was a lot, but let's move on to our party chat.
It's party time! Woohoo! Oh yeah!
So we have the one question from Ninja Luchbox, Mr. Johnson Lass. He's put, so with the leaked documents, which I had to ask what he meant by leaked documents, there will be a mid-gen refresh for PlayStation. They'll release a PS5 Pro and a slim model. Xbox supposedly will not be putting out a mid-gen refresh. Instead, the rumor is Xbox branded handheld that is as powerful as a Series S, but it will come with a dock, and while docked, it will be as powerful as a Series X. So the question is, if this handheld does happen, are you interested enough to buy one? And also, what would be the sweet price point?
Yes, I'm interested in buying one. That
should have been taking my money
for sure. That's right. Yeah, I'm interested in buying one, 100%. But what is the price point for this handheld? What do I think the price point is, or what am I willing to pay? Those are different things. Like anything past 500, I'm out. So that's my opinion.
The carbon black Series S that they're releasing with a 1 terabyte hard drive is currently over here in the UK pricing at $299.99. So, and then a Series S just as normal, is 242 on Amazon.co.uk. So Xbox is selling one at 209.99. So I'd say if you're gonna have a handheld console that you has the graphical power of a Series S while in your hand, which, let's be fair, is pretty freaking powerful.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty. I mean, that's pretty
has
sweet.
has the graphical power and processing power of a Series X when docked. I'd be expecting to pay somewhere in the margins of $375.
Really? But wait, how much is the X right now? I mean, I should probably just know this.
Not as expensive as you think, I believe.
It's 500.
$489 from Argos.
How are you going to shrink it down to handheld size? Have it be an S in your hand and then an X, and it's got to be at least as much as the X, does it not? You think it's going to be less?
Yeah, but you are losing the disk drive.
Oh, wait. You think this is going to be streaming?
Yep. I don't think you are going to have the ability to have a disk drive in this. You can. If you were to have a disk drive in a dock, could you imagine the Nintendo Switch dock with a disk drive? How big that'd have to be?
Well, but wait, aren't those things just those little like flat sticks, the NVMe things, the NVMe things? I mean,
well, they are for the Switch, yeah. But could you imagine something with if you took the OLED Switch and then wanted to put a disk drive in the back, which then if you wanted a disk drive and it as you do, I mean, I'm like really back in this camera, got a bit comfortable to talk about this. If you imagine that if you have a disk drive, especially with an Xbox, you need a hard drive.
yeah, you could get a hard drive in that thing. You could get I mean, maybe half a terabyte, but you can get a half terabyte hard drive in a handheld for sure. So,
oh yeah, in a handheld, but this is where if in the dock, if you're gonna have it like pretty slim and all it's doing is charging and doing a video throughput with a little bit of graphical power, you want it to have a hard drive, because if it's got a disk drive in the dock, it's going to need a hard drive, because you don't want to run a read and write for a USB-C because it'll slow it down. So yeah, when you put a disk into a Series X now, I don't know if you are fully aware of this, it has to install the game.
Know.
So like when I bought Hogwarts Legacy, I put the disc in the game and then had to wait for it to install the game and then download all the updates on top of that to the hard drive before I could actually play the game.
Well, it's not going to have a disk drive, Sean. You're going to download it straight to the drive inside the thing. I'm confused. Exactly. What am I missing?
So this is why, to me, the price would be lower than it is with the Series X, because you're losing that disk drive.
Oh, okay, maybe. Okay, all right, maybe.
You look at the Sony PlayStation 5 without the disc. If you go to the discless versus the one with the disc, the price is lower. Because you also lose then that media center. So you can't play Blu-rays on it. You can't play your music CDs on it. Everything has to be done digitally.
Do I think they're going to do this? Yeah, actually, I probably do think they're going to do this, but not anytime soon. Not until like next year sometime. At the earliest.
They see, I'd give it Christmas.
You think so? I don't. By the way, Antonio here says no hardware is coming, and PlayStation canceled Project Q, and he'd buy a unicorn too. Which that's fair. I wouldn't buy a unicorn. That's all fair. I love you, brother. Let me see. I think they're gonna do this, but probably not until next year. I think they need to come out with something that's Switch-like. Wait, if you have this thing though, why would you buy an X? If it's handheld and an S and docked and an X, why would you buy an X? What's the point? And maybe
You
that's
wouldn't-
maybe they don't care.
This is, to me, we talked about Xbox moving away from being Xbox and going to being a Game Pass only kind of stick. This is that move. You have the ability to either have an S, have an X, so you have the whole Microsoft Xbox side of things still, where you can put your discs in it, or you have a Game Pass only device.
Do you think the dock is going to take a disk drive?
No,
Okay, I don't either. I just thought, okay, yeah.
no, I wouldn't. For me, it'd look ugly because
Oh,
it'd be
wait.
huge.
You want the X for the disk drive. For those of you who, God forbid, could not have the ability to have physical media. I'm sorry, I love you all, but for those of you who are like, I cannot not have the thing in my hand. So that's the person that wants the X still. Okay, but for all the rest of us, which I don't know, I might be that person that doesn't care. Everybody else cares. But for me, I'm good.
I would sell my X and buy the handheld.
Amen. I'd sell my ass and pay whatever extra I got to pay in a heartbeat. You know what's going to happen though, Sean? If I'm right, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to sit here and see, do I want the handheld or do I want whatever the hell Nintendo's about to bring out next year? To be honest, I mean, because Nintendo's coming up with something. I don't think it's going to be this year, but next year something's coming.
I still think that when Nintendo brought out the OLED was meant to be the new Switch Pro with all the new insides that would make it a bit more graphically matured to pick up all the games that it's going to be available to stream to it. But yeah, I think the OLED Switch was something that the Switch needed to do at the time because they needed something new and shiny for everybody to be hyped about still, but it wasn't the finished product.
You're probably right.
The OLED was going to be the Switch Pro.
So do I want a mid-gen refresh? No, I wouldn't consider this a mid-gen refresh. This is a revamp of the product at some level. Do I want this thing? Yeah, I do. This sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I'll take a handheld, but it's got to have a hard drive inside of it. I'm not doing a streaming thing. I mean, I just told you I played Tectonica and it was awful. I'm not buying something that I have to stream and pray that it works. And I don't want anything with stealth that I'm going to be like, well, you can get to the 5G. I don't have 5G around me, one. But that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not all about me. But even if I did, I don't want to then pay $17 for one thing and $15 to my cellular carrier so that I can hook it up to the thing. No. I want a hard drive in it. That's the only way you're going to get me to buy it. Anything less than that, I'm out.
Yep. And a cooling fan in the dock.
That's right. And it's got to make a lot of dang noise.
No.
Oh, no? Oh, okay. Sorry, I guess I got that part wrong.
when docked, will take off.
That's right.
Comes with fixings, so you have to screw it down to the tabletop.
It's just like you can do those model poses with you because your hair is gonna be like blown back. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That was baldest. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I take it back. I'm gonna get canceled.
You say it. I am definitely the baldest.
Yeah, no, it's a good question, and I'm down for it. I'm down for that handheld, and I don't think it's a unicorn, Antonio. I mean, it is right now, but you're gonna find out that this unicorn's real, and it's not just a one-horned goat. Okay, goat. It's not. It's an actual beautiful unicorn. Beautiful.
Oh, brilliant! I'm gonna find a meme of a unicorn, one-horned goat dressed as a unicorn.
Yeah. Despicable Me. Do you know where that's from?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just making sure. All right. That's. Do we have any other questions?
No, that was the one and only. There's yeah. So I shall take us out with my outro. So yours was brilliant last week. You did well. So.
Oh well, thank you. I don't know about that, but I'll take your nice compliment.
Hey, I panicked doing the intro part for the episode I did alone. So kudos.
You do it. Yeah. Show them how to do it right.
So, everybody, thank you very much for listening. If you want to get in touch with us via any of our social networking sites, you can do. That's Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Everything is at Game Pass News. If you want to send us an email, we like it. We like getting mail. We're old. We like it. Game Pass Newscast at gmail.com. Once again, that is Game Pass Newscast at gmail.com for our email. If you're listening to this via our usual podcasting app, please leave us a review, give us some stars. It helps us get noticed. And as Nick alluded to last week, I can imagine that the August event is going to be review based. If you want to subscribe to our Twitch, you can do. That benefits us, and the more you benefit us, the more we benefit you with greater content and greater giveaways. You also get access to our little corner of Discord in the Nintendo ads. If you want any of the cool merchandise, like the t-shirt and the jumper that me and Nick are wearing, you can do by shopping at redbubble.com. Look for our store, Game Pass News. You can do that. Thanks very much, Antonio, Ninja Lunchbox, and Acid TK, and Bruce, as always, for jumping in the live chat. And until next time, guys, we shall see you later.
See you later, guys.